Yesterday, we showed you how to start having fun again with a motion scheme out of the gun split wide receiver backfield. Today, I'm going to share with you the streak glitch, which you can run from a variety of different formations in this game. Let's get into it. What is up, guys? Zane from the Madden YouTube channel, and the streak glitch is a very real thing. Now, if you guys were watching yesterday's video, we broke down the gun split wide receiver backfield in some freestyle route combos you can set up with a little motion scheme. Today, we're going to continue utilizing this formation as an audible out formation to break down the streak glitch. Now, the streak glitch is actually something that you guys will be using a timing-based hot route after audibling out of this formation to put your wide receiver on a streak. And this is going to behave very similar to some of the outside release streaks that you guys see in the game in formations like gun tight, or some of the other unbumpable streak fade type routes that were patched into the game a couple months ago in title update number 5. So we're going to play off that new behavior with how streaks are guarded by creating our own unbumpable streaks. So let's go ahead and get into this. For this particular tip, we are in the gun split wide receiver backfield. However, if you guys are in the 49ers offense, or we'll show you a setup out of a shotgun set into an empty set momentarily, you could run this out of empty with this particular trick utilizing the running back. So the Debo package, gun split wide receiver backfield, or any normal gun formation into an empty set will achieve what we're looking for here. So we're going to choose to play snag Z spot. It really doesn't matter what we choose. And what we're going to do is we are going to audible out of this formation. You'll note that T.Y. Hilton, a wide receiver, is in the backfield. And by audibly into another formation, say for instance, tight Y off weak, we can then put him on a streak, but the shape of his streak is actually kind of an outside release unbumpable fade. And this actually ends up being pretty cool because what we can do from there is go ahead and block the blitz if we're expecting zero blitz, set up any other man-beating route combo that you want. But really what we're looking at is the lob touchdown to T.Y. Hilton. You'll note that this is going to get an outside release and then just run right by the man. You'll note that this is going to run right by the player in man-to-man coverage. You'll note that when you snap the ball, it runs right by the player in man-to-man coverage, and you could just freeform tap lob this and rack it for a one-play score. Now, obviously, you'll want to be careful if they have a deep route KO in the man-to-man. There is a chance that if the player that is trailing has that ability, he could knock this out. Otherwise, you are looking at them having to play a deep half to prevent this from being a catch, most likely a one-play score. So right here, you see that it's the outside release that kind of flattens out the footwork of the DB in man coverage, and then that acceleration down the field runs right by him for the easy lob. You'll be able to do this out of a variety of different formations. So you're going to be able to do this trick out of the gun split wide receiver backfield or the Debo package in the 49ers playbook, but there are a number of you out there that likely are running a playbook that doesn't have either of these two formations. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you guys that if you have the gun empty base or base flex in your playbook, you can actually achieve this same behavior with a running back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out in the gun trips halfback weak, and we're going to use a running back. So I'll leave Terrell Davis in the game here. And you'll see here that if we audible into the gun empty base flex or any formation that is empty and do this same trick with a running back, he does get the outside release on his streak. The downside to doing this out of the gun empty base flex is that the wide receiver is out wide on the sideline, and I think this trick works a little bit better from the slot. So I would more recommend that you do this with the wide receivers. But if you have a formation that does line up the running back inside, say for instance, I've got the gun empty bunch wide, you can audible into this and use this trick all the same. So you've got this kind of compression look. Now, the downside with this is that the running back does take a little bit longer to accelerate past his man than a wide receiver does. I don't know if it's a locomotion based issue, but you really do need to have pretty solid time to do this, but eventually he will end up running behind the man and you could do this rack animation all the same. You notice though that it takes just a little bit longer. So for whatever reason with this, you do see that he kind of jogs a little bit, takes a little bit, and then boom, he accelerates right by the player, allowing you to throw that lob. Again, I just want to be clear and honest with you that the running backs do take a little bit longer for this to work. Now I want to show you the under center version of the streak glitch. This one is actually pretty nice too, because you don't have to come out in a formation in audible, although I will say that you do need to flip a formation to do this trick. And this ought to remind you of a couple years ago where players were doing this exact same tactic with flip streaks out of regular bunch, and they were using them to break to the inside. We're actually going to use this trick to break them to the outside and kind of do the same thing that we were doing just a moment ago. So I'm going to call a formation like bunch tight end. Now I will say that this doesn't work out of every single under center formation, so you'll want to lab your playbook, but I'm going to flip the play and I'm going to time my streak when the player hits the other guard. And you'll see that the change on these is that the shape is very different depending on the timing. So you see that this looks like a wheel route. But if you were to kind of do this sooner, you see if I were to put this on a streak before he reached the center, he runs to the inside. So this whole tactic is going to depend on the timing. You see here in this example, I shortened up my wheel a little bit by waiting until he reaches the other tackle. So basically when I do this, I'm hitting YB and then I'm waiting for Kirk to hit the left tackle. And that's going to make his route a little bit shorter on the horizontal component before he cuts up the field and accelerates. So again, if you guys are facing any type of man-to-man where you're just really looking to get that acceleration animation past the player in man-to-man, this is a tactic you can use from under center. And again, I will note that this does take a little bit longer than the regular shotgun wide receiver streak, but it works kind of similar to the running back timing. So you see right there in that example, the wide receiver was able to run right by his player. Now, because of the way that I set up my pass protection, the player that was on a blocking running back actually double teamed him. But you can see that this concept does apply to man coverage from under center. So the primary man defender, if you're getting a one-on-one, is the one that you really want to key in on. And you see that Andre Reed, when he cuts up the field, runs right by the guy and is wide open for the lob. Now, if not for this player being in a position where he's basically keyed in on the running back, he wouldn't drop into this man coverage and double this, but this would have been a lob touchdown if that were the case. So you should see here in this example, now that running back is on a route, which allows us to lob this ball out to Andre Reed for the rat catch and the one-play score. So there you guys have it. That is the streak glitch in Madden 23. You could do this out of shotgun. You could do this out of under center. If you guys don't have a playbook that has the Debo or the split wide receiver backfield package, you could do this with a regular shotgun formation into an empty with the running back, or you could go under center and run a flip concept and utilize a wide receiver like I just showed you at the end of this video. If you guys like this video, please make sure you guys give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, drop those below. Any comments help push this video out in the algorithm. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so that way you guys catch our YouTube short that we'll have up a little bit later this afternoon. Until this afternoon or tomorrow, this is Zan. Get in the lab and good luck.